Hello everyone, my name is Cheryl and today's project is going to be a very interesting one. We're going to be using air dry clay and we're going to be making a bowl that you can use for jewelry or bands, little hair bands or anything that you would like. Once it's done, what you'll need for this project is a little glass bowl, some cookie cutters, a little bit of water, some air dry clay, a little bit of olive oil, a knife cutter, a paintbrush, as well as some plastic food wrap. Alright, so let's begin. First of all, you're going to take a little bit of food wrap and just cut it off, and you're going to put it onto your glass bowl, and the reason for that is to stop your clay from sticking to your bowl so that it'll be easy to remove once you've actually done that. Okay, then you can put that to one side once you're done. And you take your air dry clay out. You can get this at Walmart or any of your hobby shops, or you can make your own air dry clay as well. There's some very nice recipes online. Excuse my fingernails, I've been using paint and I couldn't get them off. Couldn't get it off. Okay, so take out a nice big lump of air dry clay. This is about right. Move it around in your hands to warm it up a little bit so that it's not so hard to work with. And just get yourself a little roller. I did forget to mention that, but before you do that, you want to put a little bit of olive oil on your hands, a little bit of olive oil on your work surface so it doesn't stick to it, and a little bit of olive oil on your roller. Okay, once you've got that all sorted out, you can start rolling your clay. Now bear in mind it's going to be a little bit difficult to roll in the beginning, so you could always ask someone to help you to do that because it is a big piece and it's still quite cold. As it warms up, you'll find that it's much more pliable. But just keep on rolling until you get a thickness of about 1/2 inch. So once you've got it the approximate thickness that you would like, do not roll it too thin, and you can always use a bread roller as well if you like. I've just got these little round cores which I find works very well, and it smooths it out lovely, and it's great for smaller hands as well. So once you've got the thickness that you want and it's nice and smooth, you can do two things. You've got a little punch that you can use, and if you decide to use the punch, I've got a picture of a tree here. Just push it in with your little hole punch. And once you've got your pattern that you like, you can always use a cutter and just cut it out. And it's simple enough just to go through the clay. Put a little bit of olive oil on the blade of the cutter if you prefer. Now, if you don't want to use a blade cutter, there is a much easier way of doing this as well, and I'll show you. So there you go. There's a pretty little tree that you have cut out, and you can paint it whichever way you would like. So that's one idea. The other idea is just getting a little cookie cutter like this, and it's much more simpler to use. You just push it down into your dough, your clay, push it out, and then you can cut out quite a few at a much quicker pace as well. So I'm just going to cut out a few like this, and then I'm going to show you what I did further on in the projects. But let's just take a few out and I'll show you how you actually attach them together to make your little bowl. And you can cut as many or as little as you need. I'm going to actually make use of this whole piece. Okay, I think that's enough. Please remember to put your clay away and also to close your clay container up. Because remember, this is air dry clay, and if you leave it open, it is going to dry out. Now, to utilize it again if you find it's drying out too quickly. You can always add a little bit of water to it. The only problem is it doesn't make it very easy to work with once you've added the water. So there's that you have to consider. Okay, so we've got our little bowl back, and now we're going to do a design. So we could just position our little hearts like that all the way around the edge of the plate, dish. Now you may ask, how on earth does it stick together? Well, that's simple enough. You just take a paintbrush, and once you've got your position that you would like, just take your paintbrush and a little bit of water, and you just add a little bit of water on all the edges and just squeeze them together. And that should work perfectly. They should stay together once that's done. And if you also want to add a little bit of Elmer's school glue, you can add the Elmer's school glue to the water just to reinforce that connection between the clay. But generally it should stay together quite well. And there you go, there's your next connection. And you just keep on going this way till you've got all of your connections together. Now, when you do the side of your container, please make sure that the top end is almost dry before you do that, and turn it around so that it doesn't slide off, because if you just attach it like this, obviously it's going to start sliding down, as you can see. So you want to actually prop this up, bend your clay, and then make sure that you've got something to hold it there. Okay? So that's just a little bit of a tip there, otherwise it just falls apart and you have no control of it. Once you've got all of your areas together, you can start on the sides as well, but just make sure that you attach this very well so that it doesn't fall apart when you remove your cling wrap or food wrap at the end of the project once it's dry. Alright, so let's jump forward and I'll show you a project that I've already done and painted, and I'm just going to add a few little hearts to that. So let's move across and do that. And here you go. So as you can see, I have blended two different items here. I've blended my tree as well as my heart to get a design. Now you can do whatever you like, but this is the way I thought that I would like it. And what I've done is I've put some little hearts all the way through the middle, and now I'm going to add some hearts all the way around the edge. And once it's dry, you can then paint it. Okay, so let's do that. Let's add a few hearts to the side. Okay, so now we're going to add a few to the side. And just stick it on. It will adhere to the paint, you don't have to worry. And make sure that you bend your heart down a little bit so that it takes the form of the plate. Okay, and the next one, I'm just going to move it in that angle so that it attaches to the tree edge and to the edge of the other heart. Make sure you've got it nice and tight before you move on to your next one. Otherwise it will come apart. Okay, and I'm just going to take another heart, add it to the edges, and turn it upside down so that it attaches to this section here. And make sure your heart moves down so that it can take the shape of the plate. Alright, so I'm just going to do one more little heart, and then you should be good to start your project the way you would like to start it. I'm going to turn this one upside down so that we get the different shapes of the hearts moving along the side. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun, and you can make all sorts of things. You can make round bowls, square bowls, oblong bowls like I've done. And once this is done and dried and painted, you can just tip it over, pull off your cling wrap or your food wrap and remove it. It'll come off quite easily. Sand the inside of your clay to make sure it's smooth if you haven't got it nice and smooth already once you rolled it out. And then you can paint the inside of your bowl, and I hope you have fun doing this project. Thank you.